I've seen so many people confused as to why are artists so against AI. Whether they're musicians, writers, or painters, the creative field is being so disrupted by this technology, and the average Joe is so confused. The worst thing I see around how people treat art is the devaluation of it and the shape of comments like, just get a real job like everyone else. And honestly, it breaks my heart. The truth is, it's not really about the technology. It's about what's happening underneath it. The valid fears, the ethics, the emotions, and the history behind it. Things that are more complicated to talk about than just AI is bad and art is good. So once again, join me on a quest to become a better artist while we explore why artists are so against the use of AI in its current state. I feel like from the outside, it might look like artists are just resistant to change. Like we're a lazy bunch of humans with no real jobs in sight, clinging to the old way of doing things and refusing to move forward. In general, I just hate the comparison to the invention of photography or how cars displaced horseshoe traders. It's so much deeper than that. And if you disagree, feel free to tell me in the comments. I'm always open to a civil discussion on the topic. To be honest, most of us didn't choose art because it was practical. In fact, at least a dozen of very practical professions fall to mind that are much better career choices than art is. We didn't pick it because it was profitable, or easy, or guaranteed. We picked it because it made us feel something. Because it gave us a sense of purpose, identity, and self-expression. Something that made us feel human in a world that's constantly trying to flatten everything into efficiency and automation. And now suddenly there's this tool that can imitate the thing we love in seconds. Without the years of struggle, practice, growth, or failure that shape who we are. So as you can understand, a part of the resistance comes from a place of grief. A feeling that something deeply personal is being reduced to a button press. But that's not even the biggest issue. One of the main reasons artists push back against AI is because of how it was made and all the data that was used to create it. And before you compare it to how humans learn and grow, try to understand that no human operates this way. It wasn't trained on neutral data. It was trained on millions of artworks made by real people, by you and me, without consent, without compensation, without even acknowledgement. Imagine you've spent 10 years developing your unique style, your visual fingerprint, only to find out that AI has absorbed it and can now mass-produce you much faster than you ever could. Your way of writing, your way of playing music, or your way of drawing. That doesn't feel like innovation, and it shouldn't be called that. It feels like theft wrapped in a shiny bow. There's a reason why copyright law exists and why AI slop cannot be copyrighted in the first place. And of course, there will always be some people who can say, well, art is always inspired by other art. Yes, that's true, humans learn from each other, but humans don't copy-paste. Humans don't absorb millions of pieces of art in seconds. Humans don't generate infinite variations of another artist's style and then sell it as their own product. We're inspired, we don't extract. Another reason why artists push back is because AI kind of exposes real fear in all of us. The fear of what if a machine can easily replace me? And even though I don't believe art can truly be replaced, that anxiety is very real. When you pour so much of your time into something, anything that threatens it can feel like a personal attack. I'd much prefer AI to do my laundry than write the next best-selling fantasy book. How about you? But at the same time, it's valid to feel uncomfortable watching something mimic the thing you've dedicated your life to. Especially when that mimicry was built out of work that artists didn't give permission to use. Another layer to this is how quickly AI art is being adopted by industries that already undervalue their employees and artists. If you're wondering why so many layoffs are happening everywhere around you, trust me, studios, publishers, marketing teams, places that were already cutting art budgets are now asking why hire a human in the first place when a machine can spit out 1,000 different options for the same price in seconds. It almost feels like the world is saying, we love your creativity, just not enough to pay you anymore. Historically speaking, art has always been slow, human, undervalued, but messy and imperfect. That's the process that gave it meaning, the struggle, the growth, the emotions that get tangled into every line or brushstroke. The fact that a human just like you or me could do something so extraordinary. I'm not so impressed by a printer printing out a picture. AI removes the entire journey and only hands you the sloppy but good enough results. For some people, that's magic. They just want to see pretty pictures on their feed or a video of a puppy saving 100 people and a baby from a plane crash. Until we change for the better, I don't see a bright future ahead. For artists, writers, photographers, this feels like a slap in the face. It's like handing someone a finished journal and saying, see, now you don't even have to write your feelings down anymore. But the writing is the point. Another big frustration is how aggressively AI is marketed, not as a tool for artists, but as a replacement for them. The message really hasn't been, here's something to help you create, but rather, here's something so you don't need creators anymore. Of course, artists react emotionally. How could they not? The entire marketing pitch feels like a threat. And yes, there are artists who also embrace AI as a tool, who find joy in mixing it with their own process, who aren't afraid of it at all. But the morality of the whole thing seems so very black and white from my point of view. That's why for so many of us, it's complicated. It touches on too many things all at once. Our careers, our sense of identity, our relationship with art, our financial stability, even our emotional connection to creativity. So when people ask, why are artists so against AI? The honest answer is because it wasn't built with us in mind. It was built in mind to exterminate any and every creative bone in humans. And it definitely wasn't built in respect to artists. Being against the predatory use of AI doesn't mean being against technology. Artists have always adapted, learned, and experimented. We're not afraid of new tools or new software. We're afraid of being erased by systems that don't care about the people they use and step over. And I think that's why artists fight so hard. Not because we are anti-progress, but because we're trying to defend something deeply human, in a world that's slowly forgetting what humanity really feels like. So the next time you buy a postcard, a get well card, or when you're just browsing Etsy for the next perfect gift, make sure to keep your eyes open and try to support the real human artists and their work. It means the world. As always, I'll see you in the next one.